Hello to all my beautiful people watching this video. Thank you for clicking on this video and coming into my channel. If you haven't done so, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And share this video with a loved one, with a friend, someone who might be going on this specific airline that we're going to talk about. So that way they can avoid all these headaches and all the things that I had to go through. So, of course, if you're clicking on this video, it's because you want to know what happened to my situation, what happened with me in AirCanada, and let me get into full details about what happened. So, number one, I decided to go on a trip to Greece, which I already talked about in an earlier video. If you haven't seen that video, I will leave the link below so that way you can see how I got to go to Greece for free. So, I use my credit card points, and I'm not going to get into all the details right now. But anyways, all right. So I set up to go to Greece. I was set up to go to Greece completely free, no problems whatsoever. Okay. So I thought, right? So this is what happens. We get on the plane, we go to Greece. We had a stop in, well, actually, for those of you that don't know, I'm from New Jersey. So I use Newark Airport as my home base airport to go all over the world. And we had, the catch to having it free was, well, the cheaper one was to get a one stop. So we went from Newark Airport, we flew to Montreal. And from Montreal, we went to Athens, Greece. Had an amazing time in Greece. Now, the first thing that happens with AirCanada is that they give good service. I had some great service on the airplane. They fed us well. They gave us this pretty savory airplane food, chicken, plenty of drinks that they give you along the way. It's a pretty long flight. It's about an 8-hour flight to get there and a 9-hour flight to come back, at least to Canada, right? So service is great. When we get there, we're there in the carousel waiting for our bags. And guess what? The bag did not get there. So we're just waiting and waiting, and we see, little by little, those passengers, they just start leaving, and there's only a few that do not get their bags. Who are those? Those that were on the one stop. So what happens? Basically, the flight was delayed from Newark to Montreal. So due to that delay, as soon as we got to Montreal, they rushed us into the airplane, and the airplane was basically waiting for us to get there. As soon as we got to the gate, they're like, go, let's scan and go. So with all that delay, they never sent the bags to Athens. So we had to make this huge line in Athens airport. And what happens? There they tell us, well, your bag never made it here to Athens. We just called the airline. They said they're going to send it tomorrow on the same flight. So, huge inconvenience for us. I was wearing the same clothes for 2 days in a row. Can you imagine wearing the same shirt in a place where it's like very dusty? I mean, Athens and Greece, there's a lot of that Mediterranean dust that flies through the whole area. So you get dusty, your shoes get all dusty, you start sweating because it's very hot there. We were not going to waste our time. We decided to go to the Acropolis and all the great areas in Greece. So, 2 days with the same clothes, it was not a good experience. We didn't have anything to brush our teeth. And yeah, you might say, well, when life throws lemons at you, make lemonade, right? Why don't you just buy toothpaste? No, I'm not going to spend money when we already bought all these things and we had it packed. So we had to just live with the inconvenience. Thank God the next day we went to the airport. We had to drive 45 minutes to the airport again, and we picked up our bag. So that was good. Fine, we had a great trip. It's time to go back home. When we go back home, get on a plane. We have to fly from Athens to Toronto this time. Once we get to Toronto, we are told that our flight to Newark is canceled. And there's no other flight that could put us in until the next day. So we had to stay in Toronto. So we're like, okay, well, that's not too bad. If we get out of this airport within an hour or so, get these vouchers, we should be fine. I know a couple of places. I've been to Toronto before, so I know a couple of places that we can visit, rent a car, everything. I'm just planning everything and just adjusting to the situation. So what happens? When we get there, we had to wait a line. They're like, all right, you know what? Why don't you go to another line? Those of you that need vouchers. So we go to the other line, and then they moved us to a third line. Now, mind you, all this is in like 2 hours after we have landed from a 9-hour flight. Myself, my wife, we were pretty upset at the whole situation. We were tired. All we wanted to do was get home. But if we're gonna stay in Toronto, well, let's make the process faster so that way we can get to the hotel and just rest, maybe go out to eat, and just go to sleep and wake up early to get to the next flight. Fine. That is not what happens. That is not what happens. So we have to continue waiting in the airport for 2 to 3 hours just for them to tell us, hey, we just want to let you know that your flights, your cancellation doesn't qualify for a voucher. And I'm like, what? Wait, so you cancel my flight, you lost my baggage the first time, you cancel my flight to Newark, back home, and now you're telling us that we waited 3 hours here for you to tell us that we don't qualify for vouchers? I'm not paying out of pocket. I want to talk to the manager right now so that they send us to a line where you talk to managers, apparently. So we're there in that line, and one of the managers comes and tells us, hey, can you come back within a couple of hours? We just have so many people in the airport with the same situation. They keep canceling flights. Now, mind you, it's not because of weather. It's simply, they say, due to COVID restrictions or COVID relations. In other words, they don't have the personnel to actually fulfill these flights, that they take the money from the customer. They have no problem doing that. They do that like this. You're confirmed, you're booked. But what happens when it's time to fulfill what they have offered, what they have sold? They can't do it because they don't have enough personnel. Now, mind you, Canada is a little stricter with the COVID restrictions and all of that. Understand that. But you gotta have the personnel. If you're going to sell all these flights, if you're going to take money from the customer, you need to have the personnel to fulfill it. And if you don't have the personnel, then guess what? Don't offer the flights. So simple as that. So we get to the manager's line. She tells us, one of them tells us, oh, can you come back in a couple hours? And I'm like, no, I'm not coming back in a couple hours. First of all, I have nowhere to go to. It's not like I have a house here in Toronto. You know, my home is back in Jersey. So not cool. So what happens? I say, you know what? We're staying here in this line, and we're going to request that another manager helps us because we are not leaving. So another manager was able to come help us, and he took our tickets, he went to another counter, and he took about like 20-30 minutes. Comes back. He's like, I have some good news, I have some bad news. Due to your flight cancellation to go back home to Newark, we can give you the vouchers. So here's some food vouchers, which is just food for the airport. So it's kind of like an inconvenience as well. But then he's like, but here's the bad news. I have a voucher for you for a hotel, but there are no more hotels to give out. Why are there no more? Because there's so many flight cancellations that they gave them out to other people. So this really irked me. And he basically said, all right, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a card, and this card has a website, customer relations, where you're going to basically let them know that you had to pay out of pocket for a hotel, and they're going to reimburse you. And I asked them, like, all right, so are they going to reimburse anything? Is there a limit to the hotel? No, there's really, I can't really give you a guideline for it. They just decide how much they're going to reimburse you. So I already see this as a dead giveaway. I'm not already like, they're going to tell us if they're going to reimburse us. That's not good. I don't think they're going to reimburse us, because what if we book $1,000 hotel per night? You know, they're going to reimburse that. So, you know, they should have some guidelines for it. They don't. So I'm looking, you know, late night booking. I want to get a decent place. I don't want to get a rat hole. And I'm not trying to get the most expensive thing where, you know, we're going to be there just for a couple hours until we fly out to Newark the next day. Hopefully they fulfill the flight. So I'm checking. The best thing I could find was Holiday Inn Express, and it was $300 for Holiday Inn Express. That's a little rare for me, but I guess so many people were booking that it was just on high demand due to all the cancellations in Toronto. So we said, you know what, let's do it. I immediately filed the cancellation form, the claim. And what I come to find is that they email me and they say, oh, it's going to take about 30 days before you get that, before you get somebody to be attentive to your situation. Can you believe that? I mean, that's unbelievable to me. Like, they don't even have people in their online support system to actually handle all of the requests that they're getting. So, unbelievably horrible airline. On top of that, we couldn't get our bag. So that they said, oh, the bag is going to be picked up in Newark. You're not going to be able to transfer your bag out. So, again, we are inconvenienced without our stuff in Toronto. The next day, we get there, we fly out, and finally we get home. When we get home, we go to the carousel, and guess what happens? They do not have our bag again. And this really gets me really mad because, you know, it's one thing to lose your bag once on a trip, but to lose it twice, I mean, you know, I would expect that they would have it there. They did not have it. So we have to do another line again when we get home, and we just want to be home at this point because, you know, we had a bad, you know, trip. I mean, the flight was fine, but cancellation, had to spend out of pocket in Toronto. We had to go to a little restaurant to feed ourselves because we're not gonna stay in the hotel all night, in the airport all night. So we had some extra expenses, around $400 in expenses extra that we were not supposed to had we just taken our flight back home to Newark. And we're just there in that line. They're like, oh, we don't know when it's gonna come, but here's another reference. So they give us a reference number and we just have to wait. So that was, we got here on a Monday from Toronto, and we don't get our bag all the way till Thursday. So like 3-4 days later. What are you doing there in Canada, people? What are you doing? Air Canada, this is ridiculous. So check this video out. So guess what we got? After 4 days, the bag is here. Here in Newark Airport, second time this week. Besides the fact that we got here on Monday, finally have it back. Air Canada, you have to do better. You have to do better. You have to do better. So there you see my frustrations. There you see, we finally got the bag. But my final message to Air Canada is this. Air Canada, you have to do better. Your service in flight is actually pretty good. You guys give food, plenty of drinks throughout the flights. It's a good service when you're in flight. But your operations suck. And you have to get better, Air Canada. Air Canada, if you cannot fulfill the flights, simply do not offer them. You know, I'm perfectly okay with you guys offering 1 to 2 flights a day to whatever destination, whatever it is, whatever's the most popular, and in-service flights in Canada. As long as you can fulfill, have the personnel there, and make it a good experience for your travelers, okay? Your operations have to be better. You cannot be losing baggage. You cannot be losing all of these bags just like that. And then have the customer wait 3-4 days to get all of their things. We had some expensive things in there that we needed. My wife had all her makeup in the bags. So it's not like we're gonna go and buy all this type of makeup again and all these different things. I had a very expensive perfume there. You know, God knows what they were doing with my bag. Maybe some of them were going through it, going in, and maybe they would steal something. These things happen in airports all the time. So Air Canada, you have to do better. You have to service your customers better, okay? So, completely unacceptable. I will never fly Air Canada again. 100% never fly them again. Even if you guys pay me, even if you guys say you can have free flights for the rest of your life, I would never fly you guys again until I see that you guys do better things. I mean, you can see online, if you go online, you see all of these different reports of all of these flights canceled, horrible testimonies that you see from Air Canada throughout all this month of July. So you got to do better, Air Canada. And I would recommend everyone that's watching this video to never book Air Canada ever in your life. You'll be totally disappointed, you'll be totally sad, and you will be very mad in your trip. You're not gonna get your bag. You're not gonna get your bag, especially if you do the one stops. So avoid Air Canada at all costs. I do not recommend them. Stay away from Air Canada 100% of your trips going forward in the future until they change the way that they do things there. So maybe you had a similar experience or even worse. I would like you to please comment below and tell me what was your experience with Air Canada. Am I wrong about all this? Because from what I went through, I am pretty sure that I'll never fly them again. Am I wrong? Am I right? How do you feel about Air Canada? Please go down below and comment and let me know what you feel. Share this video if you can with your family members so that way they never fly Air Canada. And if you live in Canada, I feel bad for you because they offer the most flights in Canada, but if I were you, choose an American airline. All right, take care. God bless you all.